So I've been in education, this is my 9th year, and I always thought like there was something missing. Like there was just sort of a disconnect. I loved working with the students, and I feel like I got into it for like a human reason or having like connections with the students, but then in traditional it just felt disjointed, like what I was teaching they weren't absorbing it, or I was like marking them down when I wanted to be building them up, and there was something missing and I couldn't figure it out. And then when I found out about Montessori, it seemed to answer all my questions.
Zeros empty, right?
The concrete materials and being able to put their hands on them before they have to think about it with nothing in front of them. It makes it easier for them to learn. And it's fun to see their excitement about learning. I've never seen kids so excited about being in school.
I am so grateful for the opportunity to spend 3 years with a child and to learn who they are. Because when they come in, you just don't know how they learn. And you can talk a little bit with their previous teachers, but you don't know if they're going to be someone who really learns from a group project, someone who really needs to work by themselves, someone who has to have something hands-on to retain information, or someone who really prefers doing abstract work. You learn that child, and by the time they're in 6th grade, you know exactly how to, I guess, help them be the best student they could be.
And the creativity wasn't there, and the exploration and the wonder, and just developing a whole child. They're multifaceted, and there's so many different dimensions and parts. I was like, why won't we teach, all of the parts of the child? And Montessori seems like it covered that.
Industrial Revolution would be like one of the key points.
Okay. And you can hear their sharing of ideas or teaching each other. It's just a more dynamic environment. You can see the learning.
Pre-van helped transport 1,400 refugees to Sweden.
The internship, I started to see the Montessori classroom, which I'd only seen in a preschool environment before, and saw it working in an upper elementary with the 4th through 6th grade, and absolutely fell in love with the independent learning and the abilities for the kids to do whatever it was that they needed to do.
I observed children working on the math materials. And when I saw that, I was completely overwhelmed, because I knew that if I had had that kind of education where I could work with three-dimensional objects to learn math with, I would have had a completely different experience with school, and it would have been much more positive. So that's why I decided to become certified and teach, because I just felt like children should have that opportunity to learn in the way, that suits them.
The way that the space is set up, middle schoolers, they need to move because they're learning how to control their bigger bodies. In a traditional school, it's expected for them to sit in a chair and only get up when they switch classes. In a middle school classroom, if you need to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. If you need to sharpen your pencil, you go sharpen a pencil. It's not, it's completely focused around what that child needs at that specific time in their development.
The biggest difference is giving them that freedom to have control of their own choices. Because in a traditional setting, it's mostly led by the teacher, facilitated by the teacher, everything's directed by the teacher. Whereas now I'm more like a mentor saying, okay, here is what we need to do. How can we accomplish this?
It definitely takes a completely different mindset from your classic traditional, especially when you get into the adolescent, because you get to 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and it's amazing, and it's magic, and the students, the things that they can do here because they've been in this environment is absolutely, there's no words that can describe it.
Lo and behold, I looked into it and I love it. What I learned about it, and I said, that's me. That's the kind of teacher that I am.